right, everyone. Well, let's continue this end of the year of 2022 marathon. You ready? So, what I thought the best movies of 2022 are. Now, let's move on to video games. Yep, what I think the top 10 best video games of 2022 are, starting with number 10, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Yes, after several years of delays, it finally released this year in April to be exact, and I ain't got much to say other than if you enjoyed the first 6 Lego Star Wars games, including Episode 7, which of course is the first one with actual spoken dialogue, and that's what they interpreted into this whole collection, so yeah, of course you gotta hear Jar Jar Binks' obnoxious voice, but that doesn't kill the gameplay from being actually fun and very true to the movies, and yes, it also includes Episodes 8 and 9, which I know were not exactly well received and loved by diehard Star Wars fans, but then again, neither was Episode 1 and 2. As long as the games are fun, isn't that what matters? The puzzles are great, got multiplayer option, single player option, you name it. It's Lego Star Wars, and, well, they finally got the complete saga all put together in one game, even to take on the go for the Nintendo Switch, which is the one I obviously got. So, the Force is still strong in Lego form. Number 9, The Quarry. Yes, I obviously did a review on this, a rather short one to be exact, for my Halloween Horror Fest marathon of this year, unexpectedly. And I ain't got much to say, just go check it out and you'll see why this game is very enjoyable for horror slasher movie fans, because that's pretty much what it is. You control characters in a horror slasher movie, so it feels more like a worthy sequel to Until Dawn. It's got the same basic gameplay mechanics and everything, so it's very enjoyable for some. It's not for everybody, I will admit, because if you're not a fan of watching long, unskippable cutscenes, then you're not going to enjoy this one, because it may come off as a little tedious, but they want to get you to know the characters and their backstories, and there's a lot of split-second decisions, and that's what it's about. It takes a lot of patience to get through this entire game, but it's very fascinating at the same time. It's very suspenseful and everything like that, and controlling characters and this kind of thing. It's done before, but this time it's obviously in the woods during the summer, and the characters are, may seem a little stereotypical for the most part, but it's what you come to expect out of a horror slasher movie. And, well, of course, the fixed camera positions also might be a bit of a pain, too, as well. So, may seem a little tedious, but for horror slasher movie fans, it's definitely a must-check out right here. Number 8. Splatoon 3. Yep, another one I anticipated for this year, and I ain't got much to say other than if you enjoyed the first one on Wii U and the second one on Switch, and, well, you'll definitely enjoy this one, on Switch only, obviously. And you're probably also wondering, what more can they really add into this game that they haven't put into this series? Plenty more. I mean, they got plenty of extra gameplay mechanics and features and new weapons and outfits and everything like that. The campaign mode, single player, is awesome, challenging, and occasionally frustrating, but that's what you come to expect out of this series, using paint instead of bullets. Obviously, it's not Call of Duty. And what would it be without the multiplayer mode? Yep, online is just as much fun as ever, so I ain't got much to say. If you enjoyed the first two, like I said, give this one a shot. Believe me, it's a worthy sequel. Number 7, Bayonetta 3. Yeah, from one third game to another, and this one took years, and it finally released this year, even after, of course, the controversy with the voice actress that plays her, but don't let that get in your way of enjoying this game. It's still a blast. There's plenty of key features that are fresh and familiar at the same time, and the character is just as much of a good ass kicker as you remember in the last 2 games. Plenty of new features, like not only being able to, travel on foot, but also around as a butterfly. The guns, the ass kicking, the mechanics, it's all just as much fun as you remember. You got, of course, the loading screens, which are just as awesome as ever with practicing all your fighting moves and everything like that. The enemies, the level designs, fantastic. So, definitely worth the wait. Give it a shot, people. Believe me, even though it's only on the Switch, it's still just as much fun as you remember. So, yep. One third game is great, and so is this one. Number 6, Elden Ring. Yes, a fantasy open-world adventure game which I didn't really have much hope for. I'm not usually into these kind of fantasy-like games, but I played quite a few, and I could safely say this one is fantastic, especially on PlayStation 5. The graphics look amazing. The open world, everything is just so huge. the enemies, the character, and, well, okay, yes, this game can get incredibly frustrating, but man, it's just hours and hours of gameplay, which give it plenty of replayability right here. So, take my word, without giving too much away about the story and everything, even if you don't know much about it, believe me, you'll enjoy it as much as I did. So, give it a shot right here, people. Even if you don't know what to expect, you might be surprised and enjoy it, and get frustrated too as well, like I did. Believe me, it's not for everybody, I will agree, but man, it looks and sounds and plays amazing. Number 5, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Yes, that cute, pink little deadly marshmallow himself gets the first shot at 3D. Yes, not 2.5D, but 3D. And believe me, I was skeptical as anybody else would be on this, but thank the Lord, it succeeded. It was amazing. After playing the demo of this game, I knew I had to get it, giving me the Super Mario Odyssey vibes, and it sure did. It's basically got that similar type of 3D overworld type of gameplay. You know, you got the familiar elements like sucking up enemies and certain ones give you powers, but you also got the new feature of sucking up big things and becoming that, moving it and everything like that, like with the car and big thing to help get up on top of platforms. Believe me, it's a great new feature, and the boss fights are fun, the worlds are fun, you get awesome new bonus games and everything like that. You can upgrade your weapons. It's just a phenomenal jump into the third dimension. And all I could say is, bravo, Nintendo. I promise to get a review on this game in the near future, but in the meantime, go check it out. Believe me, if you're as skeptical as I was, you won't be disappointed one bit. Number 4, Stray. Yes, an indie game which I didn't really know what to expect out of this, playing as a cat in the post-apocalyptic world where everybody is a robot. Well, I'm glad I didn't know what to expect because this game is an amazing 3D open world platformer type of game with challenges and puzzles, and playing as a cat, let's just say, is pretty adorable. But hey, come on, this cat's pretty badass to go out in the world like that, interacting and getting himself into all sorts of trouble and everything like that. And of course having to dodge all these certain enemies and things that could shoot at you, which can get a bit annoying. Yeah, you could get lost occasionally, and it's one of those puzzle solvers. But come on, if any of you played Legend of Zelda, you would know what to expect, and you would get used to these gameplay mechanics. My only complaint with this one is it may seem a little bit short, but for $40, I'm not disappointed one bit. It looks and plays fantastic. Probably the best indie game of the year. Number 3, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Yes, another one I anticipated for this year, which is a sequel, of course, to Kingdom Battle, a game that I was a bit skeptical on seeing how crossovers are hit and miss. But thankfully, that one was a hit. I mean, Nintendo bumping heads with Ubisoft's, one of their franchises, was surprisingly a success, and it's not for everybody, I will admit, because of its gameplay mechanics and its whole battle system, which you really have to understand the whole concept of, but it's really fun and addictive. I mean, it kept me hooked all the way through, and it was a nice, lengthy action-adventure type of game, which I will admit, as I said, is not for everybody. You have to really understand the gameplay concept. It's not a simple platforming type of game. If you want that, then just go play any of the other Mario adventure games. But this one is basically different, and it shows that Nintendo is not afraid to take a risk. And with this game, it continues the success with pretty much a similar but fresh and familiar concept. It's a great sequel, and I ain't got much to say other than if you enjoyed that one, you'll enjoy this one. Believe me, it's well worth it. Number 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I ain't got much to say about this one. Just go check out my review for it, and you'll know how much I anticipated and praised the hell out of this one, being that, yes, the Ninja Turtle franchise, as you know, when it came to movies and games, of course, most importantly, has not been treated very well. So I guess they figured, let's bring Ninja Turtles back to its full glory with its beat-em-up style arcade action gameplay, and that's exactly what they did here. If you love the old-school Ninja Turtle games, primarily Turtles in Time, and the original arcade game and so forth, you'll definitely love the hell out of this one. There's plenty of little Easter eggs to Turtles in Time, and The multiplayer option, whether you're playing locally and online, up to 6 people at the same time, it's just amazing. May seem a little bit chaotic, but come on. This is the way Ninja Turtles is supposed to be. I mean, the boss fights, the level designs, the interaction, and of course the beat 'em up sound effects, the music, everything about this game, it's just amazing. I mean, they brought Ninja Turtles back to its full glory, and of course, with the Cowabunga collection on top of that several months later, it couldn't get any better than this. They just really brought Ninja Turtles back to its full glory with this game. So, if you're a Ninja Turtles fan and you think the Turtles franchise in video games has lost their ways, well, give this one a shot, and you'll think otherwise. Believe me. You'll say to yourself, Cowabunga. And the number one best video game of 2022 is God of War Ragnarok. Yes. Another one that I anticipated for this year, and I ain't got much to say about it if it made the number one spot. Other than, if you enjoyed the last one, which is obviously a sequel reboot, which obviously put it in more of a third-person perspective and got rid of those annoying fixed camera positions that, don't get me wrong, the other games, the first 3 games were fantastic. They looked and played great, but the fixed camera position was always kind of an issue and got in the way. But thankfully, with the 2018 reboot on PS4, they did a fantastic job with the gameplay design, giving us a fresh and more modern take on Kratos' adventure with action, humor, and boss fights, puzzles, and everything like that, which looked and played fantastically. And this one continues it, in fact, makes it even better than ever. I mean, as soon as you start the game, the action right off the start is just phenomenal. It's fast-paced and occasionally slow-paced with some puzzles, but man, get it on PlayStation 5, because obviously you can only get it on that and PS4, because either way it looks fantastic, but obviously with the PS5 it's even better graphic-wise. But no matter which version you get, the gameplay just plays fantastically. So, yeah, guess you could say this one is God of War. So, that's my list right there, people. Till next time, happy gaming.